Welcome back to Miller's in Motion. This week we're going to go over some of the upgrades to our upgrades that we've done. So a lot of the things that we originally put on our old Solitude, as well as even some of the things we've done now to our Valor, we've actually updated a little bit with some new things. In addition to that, I'm also adding a couple of new things. So let's dive in first with, we're putting a new door handle on. I've wanted to do the door handle for a while. I wanted to add the keyless keypad thing, so that way we don't have to keep carrying our keys everywhere. Right now we just have the stock and standard ones, which work great. We just have to constantly take that key with us everywhere we go. So that sometimes gets annoying. My keychain's bigger than I care for it to be, so we are going to clean all of that up and use a keypad. So what are we going back? We are going with the RVLock compact design. I will tell you that this is not sponsored in any capacity. We paid full price for this. We did not ask for it for free. So good, bad, or ugly, this is what we're going to use. I looked at other options and some cheaper options, but unfortunately with these new glass doors from Lippert that Alliance is using, you have to use a very specific one because you have to really pay attention to that the spacing. We only have about an inch of clearance between the end of the handle and the end of the door, and a lot of them need at least an inch and a half. So if you're going to do a handle upgrade, make sure that you measure and pick the right one for you. So let's get the old one uninstalled and put this one in. So personally, on doing something like this, I wouldn't use a drill. I would use an actual screwdriver because you could over torque this, and especially since this side's glass, I want to be really careful. So I'm only going to use a hand screwdriver for this versus what I would normally do. So now that we have that off, I'm just going to visually inspect the hole, make sure there's nothing weird going on. You should see some styrofoam down there, obviously the cutout from where that is, and then given that we have the glass door, I'm going to make sure that's okay. I also am probably going to have to remove the sticker. I'm going to double check first before I do, because I don't want to, but there's a chance I have to remove that sticker, which kind of stinks. B. So I'm going to go get the other one real quick, place it in here and see if I have to do, because I don't want to cover it up either. So, okay, sorry, it's really sunny, but so it's on all the way. That works. The lock works. And then we'll test this side just to make sure we're good. And that works, and it latches. Now I do want to test it from the inside as well. It always works there. You know, the only thing, my initial reaction is I wish there was a little more fingertip grab, because otherwise you might have to slam it versus like being able to kind of pull it, and then I feel like you're going to break the unit if you pull too hard on that. So a little more slammy than I like, but there you go. Okay, so the only thing left to do now is to reprogram the unit itself for our code. And so there's two little buttons on the back. If you want to learn a fob, there's a button there. You can actually toggle your fob on and off. We leave it off because it's constantly using battery, and so we don't see the point in using it, and we don't use the fob, we use the keypad. But there is a little code reset button. You essentially press and hold it for 10 seconds, and then you'll be prompted by the device to enter your new code and go through that, and then that'll be saved. So let's do that now. Okay, real quick, we're gonna just test it. So right now it's unlocked, and we're gonna test it and see if it will lock. There you go. Now we're locked. Now I'm gonna test it to see if it'll unlock. And there we go. Okay, now that the RV lock is done, which that was super easy, by the way, start to finish while filming only took about 15-20 minutes. I want to talk a little bit about our security cameras. So we've had our security cameras now for a while, same ones that we had on our previous coach, but how we attach them to the coach has changed a little bit. Okay, let me start by saying we have a Ring security system. This is one of our cameras, and I'm sure Lauren's getting all kinds of notifications because this one's on right now. So, hi, babe. And we have motion turned on. So the way these cameras come is there's these plates on the back, or you can add them to the bottom, but there's these little removable sections in the back that kind of pop off. So originally what I did is I used some 3M VHB tape, and I just taped the back of it onto the coach, and then when we would leave or go somewhere, I would bring it in and slide it here. Well, it's actually not that easy to get these on and off. I'm even struggling right here. So let me show you what I did instead of that and then I changed again. Okay, so sorry, the rig is absolutely filthy. It needs to be cleaned very badly, and we're gonna be doing that soon. But after I used the back plates and that didn't really seem to work all that great, I found these online, which is a 3D printed little holder, and then it's got the 3M VHB tape on the back. So all you do is you slide this in. Well, this is great for like the front and the back, but the problem is like if I put it on the side of the coach, so we always had one up here so that we could see down. You can already see the new one, but you can see down the coach line. And so with this, if you turned it to the side, it wouldn't turn all the way. And so I was really looking for something, hi again, Lauren, that seemed to do a better job. And then I found these. So essentially, you have this, which is the same idea as that, but smaller. So VHB on the back is just a clip. So I could put the same on the back, but what I did is I removed that, and then it came with these little guys, and this can go up to a 90-degree angle. So now, upside down, when this is in here, that just goes down there like that. It clips in, and then you straighten that up, and now you can angle this on like a 90-degree angle. You can do all kinds of stuff and see back at your camp. So now we have the one camera facing forward, and it kind of sees to right in here. And then we have this camera facing back. And then if I go back here, by the way, that's another little quick upgrade we can talk about in a second. I have another camera back here that is on that same system that goes and it faces that way. And then we have our fourth camera here that faces backwards. That has the same as the very front. So we originally had 4 of those older mounts, and then I replaced 2 of them because they were on the front cap. And if you remember, we had to get our cap replaced because of a lug nut and stress fractures all over it from our drive to Florida this past year. So when we did, we lost those, which is fine. And I found these, and that was a perfect replacement because we never really need to see down our service side. It always feels a little intrusive to other people when we're in campgrounds. So I really just wanted to be able to see our camp side and in front of us and behind us. Last, but definitely not least, we did kind of a funky modification on the other side of the coach to have one last little section of things stored away because we are getting ready for a really big modification that we're gonna have multiple videos over soon. So let's go to that one, which I actually installed a couple of days ago. All right, well, this is a little bit different of a mod for us. I got this modification from Jared over at All About RVs. So full disclosure, he did this first. But I have been looking for a storage solution for literally 2, maybe 3 very small pieces of gear I use to hook up with that I don't want touching anything else. Yep, you can kind of take a guess at what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a few of our stinky, slinky, poop, shoot, turd tubes, whatever other terminology you can come up with, like the Y that goes down into the actual sewer pipe, as well as our clear connector and a couple other small little things. And we're prepping for our solar system install, and so I need to get an extra bin out of our pass-through. So came across Jared's video installing this to the frame, and I'm going to put it right next to an area, and hopefully this works. So let's get to installing some stuff. All right, let's start with what all I have. That's my lens cap. That's an empty box. Don't worry about those. So I got this Patron 50 caliber metal ammo box. All of those are always going to come off, which is perfectly fine. And then because I'm lazy, I also ordered these little self-tapping screws on Amazon as well. And then that's my drill and a drill kit. Now, what we're going to do is you can see there's a section of frame right here. And then that is a secondary sewer hose carrier that I've installed. So I'm going to actually install this right next to that. Because I can't go behind it. Well, I don't want to go behind it because back behind you can see those 2 things sticking down. Those are our tool external fuel tanks, so I don't really want to go near that. So we're going to go literally right here, and the idea is that this will sit on its side like that, and then we'll just use those self-tapping screws right here to hold it up. Those self-tapping screws to hold it up right there. So let's get the seeing if this works. So that was incredibly easy. The only thing I'll tell you want to do is you want to pre-drill your 3 holes and just make sure you have enough room for your lip. So now that opens up, and I have a little mini storage container. Now I wouldn't put anything super heavy in here, but for literally the couple of little sewer connections I have, it's perfect because they don't weigh hardly anything. And then that just closes up like that. Now I will tell you one other thing too that I'm going to do is I'm going to put a carabiner on the outside of it. I do that on everything I have externally just to keep it from accidentally opening up. So the last thing I want to have happen is all my connections running down the highway. So, but that removes every ounce of sewer hookups I have now out of my pass-through bay, and either in tubes or in that little guy right there. So hopefully that little modification helps you. I will link to everything in the video description below. Also, I have no idea what video this is going to be in because it's not long enough for its own video. So here it is. That's really cool, just using that 50 cal ammo box and putting it up there, and being able to store kind of our sewer connections because there's not a lot of stuff that goes in there. So that's done. So these are our electric e-bikes. These are just some cheap waterproof casings that we put over the top of them. They strap inside the tires and it keeps the water off them. So we don't have to keep putting them away every single time it rains. When we were in Florida, I saw Phil messing with like a e-bike tent. That seemed like way more work. So we just keep those now. They sit in the bottom of the bins, and when we're not using them, the bikes fold up and go on top of them. And the only time they'd come out is if there's a chance of rain and we don't want to put the bikes away. So that's kind of a cool upgrade. Anyway, hopefully all those little quick upgrades are handy. If you have any questions on that stuff, let us know. We will also link them down below in the description, everything we talked about, as well as we'll pin it in a comment so you can easily access. Also, anytime that we put anything in a video or we talk about anything, you can always find that stuff either on our Amazon page, which you can find at millersinmotion.com. You go up to shop and there's a bunch of drop downs. You'll see the Amazon page there. Or if we talk about any of our partner stuff or discounts that are directly through other websites, like the blue water filtration system we talked about last week, or snap pads or anything, you'll find that under either our partners or discounts, and you'll actually see the discount codes and how to get your max savings through us. So, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm ready to get on the road. We're right there on the edge of it, but first we have one really big upgrade before we start to head up north to Indiana. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye, Mom.